Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I will have a guest on from the City of LaGrange Landscaping Department and also a guest on from LaGrange. So stay tuned for those interviews in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today my guest is from the LaGrange Landscaping Department and Special Events Manager. I have on with us today, Joey Nixon. Joey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, Joey. And I have had the pleasure working with you now for about 2.5 years. And I'm just going to say, you and the guys in your crew really get out and have this city looking good. And I just want to say, first off, thank you to you and all the guys there in your crew. Mm-hmm. But Joey, you didn't start out in landscaping. Talk a little bit about how you have transitioned through the ranks here at the City of LaGrange for us.
I come to work for the city in September 1999, and I started in the landscape department. They had started cutting their own power line right away at the time, and that's how I got on with the city, running a right of way bucket crew trimming power lines. And then I did that for 2 years, and then I transferred to the electric department for a year, and then came back to landscape and just worked up through the landscape department, and then got the manager job 2 years ago.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, you know, and that's a tall job too, because like I stated, you guys do a lot of things. But you start out in landscaping, kind of cutting the right-of-ways and things of that nature. And we're going to talk about right-of-ways here momentarily, so people kind of get a better idea and understanding what is a right-of-way and what isn't the right-of-way. But you started out there, and then you transferred to the electric department, doing pretty much the same thing, I think.
Well, I ended up going over there and actually working on the line crews in the electric department. Okay. And then one thing led to another, and I came back to landscape. But on the right-of-ways, out of the landscape department, when we talk about right-of-way, we're talking about the size of the roads, the shoulders, areas you see that's growed up, that's not maintained by a property owner. Some of between your curb and sidewalk areas, stuff like that. And then we do try to help with the sewer department cutting their right-of-ways on sewer lines and such, and occasionally we will help with the electric department power line right-of-ways, which is, that ain't very often. They do a good job keeping up their right-of-ways also for the power line part.
Oh, okay. And you know, it's so important because I know that a lot of times, you know, as the city, we have to go down through those right-of-ways to maintain, as you stated, you know, poles or lines or whatever the case it may be. So we do have crews that are dedicated to do just that, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, you know, when he's talking about right-of-ways along the roadways, you know, there's a certain area. I'm just going to say the Parkway, for example. Right. The City of LaGrange, we maintain that, and your crew is one of the ones that is responsible for doing that. I know that we have trays along there. Talk about how is that a big task or not, Joey?
Yeah, the Parkway is that's, you know, it takes us about a little over a day to cut the Parkway. That's just cutting the grass and weed eating. And with the installation of the landscape job out there at the on-off ramp at 85, we've started more cutting it with lawnmowers instead of bush hog tractors out on that end. So that increased the time there to do that job. So yeah, it's as far as the trees and stuff go on it, we have a hard time really getting around to doing what we'd like to do there. But you know, and technically it's state property too, so kind of limited sometimes as to what we do there on the Parkway.
Okay. And you know, I didn't realize that, and you were talking about the beautification project out at 109, so you guys have to actually do that with a lawnmower as opposed to the big riding mower.
Right. After that installation, we thought it looked better to cut that grass with our zero turn mowers, and you know, just it looks better like that.
And that is a beautiful landscape project out there. I know there's a few things, and you were very instrumental in overseeing that project for the City of LaGrange. It's a very, very nice attraction to our parkway as well.
Yes, sir.
Now Joey, and I guess the thing too, talk about how many members do you have in your crew?
The landscape department consists of me and six crew members, and we got it kind of broke down into two crews. We have what we call the downtown crew, which is 3 crew members. Then we have what we call the right-of-way crew, which is 3 members. And downtown crew be the guys you see on the square, or you see at City Hall or the theater, you know, downtown. Of course, they do more than just downtown. And then our right-of-way crew will be, if you see the, you know, the city tractors on the side of the road doing the street, that would be where you would most likely see them. And then, of course, we have operator too that runs what we call the side mount tractor. It's got the big arm, and they'll try to trim the streets and stuff like that.
Okay. 6 guys in your crew. Now let me just ask a question. You know, how many miles do you think these guys actually cover? Or how many miles would it take for them to cover everything in the city?
I've never got the mileage off of it. I had an opportunity last year. I got a new inmate guard, and I had to ride him to show him the tractor route. And it took me, we spent 8 hours just riding the route, and I still probably had another couple hours left to show him, and we just stopped. So we got it down in a system. If we're running 2 bush hog tractors, it usually takes us around 4.5 to 5 weeks to make a route. That's taking care of everything inside from city limit sign to city limit sign. And then over the past year, we've had like we had the Pegasus extension. We're undertaking that, and that's a pretty good bit of grass out there off that. And then I think the city limits have moved out Callaway Church Road on out down to the railroad tracks now. So, you know, every year it grows a little bit. So, you know, we get more work to do, which, you know, that's good.
That's right. Okay. And then it's 8 hours that you rode just showing the route.
Right.
And then you could possibly have added an additional 2 hours just to show the route. So,
right.
So we're talking about a day and a half here, just one pass, right?
That's just in a truck riding it and showing us. You know, of course, the tractors, they would have to backtrack on it and, you know, make several passes. So that's where the time comes in there.
Absolutely. Well, you know, again, you guys do a great job. And you talking about your downtown, and you have a right-of-way crew. And I noticed, you know, at various seasons, you know, there are different type plantings that you all put out. And we're getting ready to enter into the fall of the year. And of course, around the square, it always looks absolutely beautiful. Talk about some of the things that you all do to prepare for the various seasons.
Right now, for instance, we're going into fall, and our summer beds, they're starting to, you know, they're not looking that good right now. But what we'll do is in October, toward the end of October, we'll end up pulling all our beds around town and going back with some winter plantings, and you know, they'll prepare them and till them and stuff like that, probably starting in October, and then try to have everything installed by the first week of November. Okay. Which is, we kind of have to do it like that because of we start doing all the Christmas lights. We have to start our Christmas lights the first week of November, because it takes us from the 1st of November until the Christmas parade to get all that done. So that's kind of how that works.
Oh my goodness. So you guys, your crew is responsible for putting those up as well?
Yes, sir.
Oh my, okay. And again, we're still talking about with the 6 guys and yourself, and you do all these things. And I'm going to jump here just a little bit. And on top of the job that you have as the manager, you guys also do special events. So whenever there's a special event that takes place,
yes,
talk
sir.
About how do you all kind of play into that?
What we do on that is different organizations request our portable, you know, our showmobile, or maybe not. Maybe they just reserve the square, or, you know, sometimes we have to do the showmobile. Sometimes it's just a square plaza kind of deal. Sue Vowell at City Hall, she'll get that stuff, send it to me. We put it on a schedule, and then we just, depending on what's needed for that particular event, you know, we'll work that event like that. You know, you big ones will be like 4th of July, and then like this is a busy time of year for events too in October and September with the good weather and all. You got Paint the Town Pink, chili cook-off. We've also got in October the Georgia Urban Forest Council coming into town. I think they'll be at the Delevant, and that'll be a pretty good crowd coming into town for that.
So you guys not only work Monday through Friday, but sometimes there's some weekend activities.
Oh,
that
sure, holidays and weekends. The events usually are going to be a Friday or Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, let me, and then another hat that you wear, Joe, that I think you recently acquired. You are now a arborist for the City of LaGrange. Talk about that for us.
Yeah, last year, me and Jay Bartlett with the electric department, we went and got our certification through the International Society of Arboriculture and became certified arborists. and we use that daily, throughout the city, trying to maintain and handling tree calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of times and of course we have a lot of large oak trees over in some of our older areas, and people see those and they think about, oh my God, those trees gonna fall on my house, and so we now have someone on staff that can go out and make an assessment of that tree. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that helps to determine whether or not it's disease or whatever.
Yes.
Well, Joey, I know that you guys do a wonderful job, and recently the board members of the Alpha Multipurpose Center held an appreciation luncheon just to show how much we appreciate what you all do for us there. Talk about that event.
I've got to go to that event this for the past 2 years, and we really appreciate that. What they do for us. They fix us lunch, and it's always good. And it's always nice to have somebody like that show you a little attention, appreciation, stuff like that. So we really enjoy going over there to that.
Well, good, very good. Like I said, I know that I've been a part of that now for about 4 years, and again, it's just a way of saying thank you for all the things that you all do for us, not only there at the center, but also over the City of LaGrange itself as a whole. Because I don't want to call any names. I'm sure I'll leave out. So I think it's Joe, Fernando, and Mike. I think is in that crew.
Alan
Okay.
Alan. On that crew, and then on the right-of-way crew, it's Richard Fuller, Lucas Green, and Cody Binger.
Okay, very good. And again, you guys keep the city, from, as you stated a moment ago, from city limits to city limits, looking good. So again, I just want to say thank you for coming on and sharing this information with us. And by all means, hopefully we'll get a chance to do the appreciation luncheon again for you all next year as well.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Okay, Joey. Well, thank you very much so much.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. My guest now is on from Dash of LaGrange. We have Elia Baltes. Elia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show as well, Elia. And it's good to sit down with you and talk about something now. I think this is the, 4th year that this has happened?
Oh, I think it's the 8th.
Is it 8th?
8th.
I'm sorry, I missed the other
okay.
one.
8th year.
We're talking about bringing together the ages, which is a festival that's been held now for 8 years. I'm sorry.
Right.
And I know that you've been a part of it for 8 years?
Pretty much, yeah.
The whole time? Okay, all right.
Yeah, Dash for LaGrange has been pretty much working with them. And
okay, all right. So and I know that we want to reach our Hispanic audience as well, so you're going to be translating in English and also in some in Spanish.
Okay.
I guess first of all, let's talk a little bit about what is bringing together the ages, and then I want to talk a little bit about what Chile stands for. So talk about bringing together the ages.
Okay. Well, Bringing the Ages Together, of course, is our festival that we do every year, the third, I think it's the third weekend in September. So this year it's September 15th. So it pretty much is a festival bringing together people that also to do free screenings, giving them opportunity to get screenings that they may not be able to afford any other times, but also brings together all the organizations. A lot of nonprofit organizations are there every year, and free food.
Oh, that's always
so
a
there's
blessing.
free food and stuff. So it's really exciting.
Okay.
El señor me estaba preguntando del evento. Ese evento es uniendo a todas las edades. Es una festividad gratis también desde la 1 hasta las 5 en la tarde. Y este año es el 15 de septiembre.
All right. So that's going to be September the 15th. And we have sessions going on from 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock, and then you have an evening session. But before we talk about the evening session, let's talk a little bit about Chile, because I know that Chile is an organization that was formed and is operated out of Dash, and Chile stands for Community Housing Initiative for Latinos and Immigrants. Talk about that, Elia.
Ok, me estaba preguntando de qué es parte el canche de Chile. Chile es una iniciativa de comunidad de hogar para Latinos and immigrants. Chile stands for, and I don't know if you told, but it stands for Community and Housing Initiative for Latinos and Immigrants. It came out in 2006 as an answer pretty much to Dash for LaGrange. There we had people coming to the organization and asking what are the services, asking questions for information. Como empezó Chile es parte de Dash. Lo que pasó es que por personas viniendo por información y de la comunidad y todos, y formamos Chile en parte de.
Oh, okay. So basically, it was another, I guess, agency or I guess arm in the community trying to help address some of the needs of the Latino population, coming to you all asking for housing initiatives and things of that nature. Okay.
Yes, el Señor dijo que era parte del alcance del hogar aquí en la comunidad, información de la comunidad y de casas también.
Okay, and I know that there's going to be a number of events taking place on that day. In that morning, I see there's going to be one thing that's a free kidney testing that's going to be going on.
Yes.
Talk about that for us, Elia.
Well, you know, Alton, you know, kidney disease affects more than 31 million people in the United States, and a couple of the causes are diabetes and high blood pressure. La enfermedades de riñón, los casos son más de 31,000 personas aquí los afectan en los Estados Unidos y las razones son de diabetes, la alta presión arterial. So those are some of the things and the reasons that we're here for the kidney screenings.
Okay, the free and it's free.
Yes.
Free
Yes.
kidney screening, and that will take place that morning.
Yes, we're
Okay.
having the free kidney testing will be 9 to 1
Okay.
at Warren Temple and at 416 East Depot Street.
Oh, okay, very good. And now let me ask: is there a charge for people coming out to the festivities, Elia?
No, everything is free of charge to the public.
Okay.
Todo es gratis para todas las personas. Now the screenings are for people 18 years old and older.
Okay.
Todos los exámenes gratis son para personas mayor de 18 años.
All right. Now, and I know the screenings are going to take place at Warren Temple. You said there on East Depot Street, but the festivities itself from 9 to 1, where will they be held now?
You're talking about the festivities,
Right,
or
the actual coming
festival.
together. Right, the
That's
festival.
1 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
in the afternoon, and so we do have screenings going on all day. But the festival is actually 1 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
And that is, of course, at 507 East Depot Street.
Okay.
You know, just right on the other side of the street there and
Right
everything.
across the street there. Okay.
So la festividad es de la 1 hasta las 5 en la 570 East Depot, la calle en LaGrange.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about you, and you gave some of the causes. You know, diabetes, high blood pressure, things of that nature. Who are, and you said at least for 18 years of age older, people that the screenings will be offered for. Why is it that people need to get these screenings, Elia? Can you talk about that for us?
I think that this is very important to get the screenings because it's going to give you indications of your risk. For all the ones that we mentioned, it's going to give you the indications of whether you have diabetes or anything, high blood pressure, anything that's going to affect your health in the future. So it's really important to screen for them, and sometimes people don't do that. Sometimes for any reason, it could be they can't afford it, they don't have insurance. But it's very important to know if you're at risk, or if you even already have, if you have high blood pressure, you're at risk. And that's why we're here.
Okay, well, very good. And again, you know, bringing together the ages, and it's a free. And I know that you all have. There's going to be also. You mentioned about food. And
Yes.
I think there's going to be some door prizes that will be given away.
Yes,
as well?
we're also going to have free door prizes.
Okay.
There might be from, I think that some of the door prizes are from Longhorn, Domino's Pizza, Fox Pizza, Katie's, and more. So vamos a tener precios gratis también de Longhorn, Domino's Pizza, Fox's Pizza, Katie's, y más.
All right.
So,
So we have a number of community agencies or community
Yes.
businesses that are going to be contributing to this. And again, it's also there are some sponsors there, the coalitions, Georgia
Yes.
Diabetes Coalition, getting
Yes.
tongue-tied there. And I know that there's the raffles, there's an opportunity to win a free laptop too.
Yes,
All right.
yes, you can win a computer. And the raffle tickets are $2, so you can buy them from different people, but you can call Wanda at 706-882-6612. And el señor estaba hablando de la rifa que vamos a tener, son $2. Puede ganar un computario, y si habla español me puede llamar a mí, 706-298-0582. So yes, it will be exciting. And we do have, they can buy them ahead, but we also will be selling them there
Okay.
And also we'll have a couple of other raffles going on at the same time too.
Oh, okay. So to get a chance to get
Yes.
free screenings, get some entertainment there, because I know
Yes.
the years that I came, there was
Yeah.
face painting and
Yes.
various other things, and the cotton candy machines and things of that nature.
Yes, cake walks.
Cake walks. That's right. So it's
Yes.
a fun eventful day, and then again, you're also looking at getting various screenings that will be taking place
Yes.
in the afternoon. I know that I guess the festival is that morning, and then there's screenings that are going to be taking place later that afternoon from 1 until 5 as well, and that's going to be held on Union Street, right?
Yes, we have, of course, the screenings in the morning, and then we have, this year it's new. I know it gets confused, because this year we're so excited to have screenings in the afternoon too, while the
Right.
event's going on.
Okay.
So the events is 1 to 5, but in the afternoon, 1 to 5, the same time the festival's going on, we're also having other screenings. The West Georgia Health System, it's 205 Union Street on the church, St. Paul Church. They are having also blood pressure, sugar test. We're also having breast exams and more that's going to be going on there. En la tarde también tenemos otros exámenes gratis de la 1 hasta las 5 en la iglesia Baptista St. Paul, 205 Union Street, cerquita ahí. Van a tener exámenes gratis de glucosa y de presión arterial, y también exámenes del pecho y más. Also, we're having District 4 Health. We'll have HIV and AIDS tests.
Okay.
So that is very good too.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So anybody, and again, come out, enjoy the festivities, get the screenings done. Now, you also mentioned, well, you didn't mention, but as we were talking earlier, Edie, I think the raffle tickets, which are $2,
Yes.
you get a chance to win a laptop and the other door prizes.
Yes.
Those funds will go to what organization?
It'll be going to the National Kidney Fund.
Okay. All
They, because they do this every year and no charge, so that's really, and John Riley with the National Kidney Fund, I mean, they come and they'll do whatever they can do to help us with the event. So they're pretty wonderful. So we chose them. We used to change it every year, but this year last year I think they decided that all the proceeds would go to the National Kidney Fund.
Okay.
Nomás para decirle que todo el dinero de los rifas va a ir este año para el Fondo Americano del Riñón.
Okay. And again, this is the 8th annual. I
Yes.
missed the 8th annual.
Yes.
And it's also Wanda Jennings there from
Yes.
the off of Depot Street is kind of like one of the co-chairs, I guess you would say.
Well, actually, Wanda Jennings with Mackie Wilson Jennings Funeral Home is actually the founder of the event.
Okay. All right.
So I guess we just, but she is the one that does it,
Okay.
every year, along with the other sponsors, which are the Georgia Diabetes Coalition, DaVita Dialysis, AK Sorority, and also Dash for LaGrange are the actual sponsors for it.
The actual sponsor. Okay,
Yes.
well, very good. And like I stated, I know that now if someone wants to be a part of this, they want to come up and set up a booth, how can they, or is there an opportunity for them to do that either?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Just have them call Wanda Jennings.
All right.
At 882-6612,
All right.
and then she'll give them their information. Of course, we would welcome any organization that wants to set up, because it's very important to distribute this information out to people. This is a great opportunity for them to get information.
Absolutely. And I know, like I said, in the years that I've come, it's been very eventful. I think, like I said, face painting. I think they maybe had the little train ride for the kids,
Right.
and the weather was beautiful too. Absolutely
Yes,
gorgeous.
it
that
is
day.
it is a fun event.
It is,
to come to,
absolutely.
and of course to get a great opportunity for the community to partake of all the information, the food, the screenings.
That's right. That's right. Well, I know that it will be a fun event as it has been in the past. Ely, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this information
Well,
once
thank you,
again.
Alton.
And I hope that you all have a great turnout. And I'm going to try to make it this time too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
All
hold
right.
you to it.
You're going to hold me to it. All right. Well, Ely, thank you very much for coming on and
You're
sharing
welcome.
information. All right.
Thanks, Alton.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me for City Week this week. My guest has been from the Landscape Department and Special Events Manager, Joey Nixon, as he talked about how he and the crews keep the City of LaGrange from city limits to city limits looking as pretty as they do. Also, I had on from Dash for LaGrange, Elia Balters, as she talked about the upcoming event, Bringing Together the Ages, which has occurred for this now the 8th year, and is, again, come out and take advantage of all those free screenings that will be happening over on East Depot Street. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed both of my guests, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.